Okay, welcome again. Welcome to this tutorial to Typhoon. In this episode, we'll talk about the calculation menu. So in the previous ones, we mentioned how to create a geometry, how to load a new geometry, how to edit your geometry, how to load an existing geometry. And you can do the exact same thing for the state. And we came to this design, the 69F. The geometry is loaded here. We also created the state with a certain speed, an elevation, and a trim angle. So it's all in there. You can play around, maybe if you're new to this, maybe edit the state, look what the elevation does. If you put it higher, the boat comes higher out of the water. If you change the trim will change of the vessel, and so on. But right now we're going to focus on the calculation. One important thing about calculation is this menu is click top. And why is that? It's a free surface method. If you want to include it, it will be more accurate because it will take into account the effects of the free surface onto the foils, which is quite important in some cases. But I advise you to first always do it without this menu. And once you have a solution and you're quite certain of everything is working correctly, you can put this on and look for your more accurate results. But for in the first try, always do it without. So I already talked about what these menus do. So you have a static calculation, just a force and moment calculation in the current state, static equilibrium calculation, and longitudinal stability elements. We'll try all three of them inside this episode. The first one we're going to try is static calculation. Again, what we need for that is we need to have a geometry loaded, we need to have a state loaded, and we need to have a mesh. Once we've that, we can press this static calculation. It also has some explanation of what about the results we'll get. So we press static calculation. What we see here is please wait, it can take a couple of minutes, and that the calculation is busy. Okay, so we did the static calculation. It just finished. So we pressed the static calculation. And what we see here right now is that the calculation is complete. We don't have any errors, so it was successful, and we get some results here. In the longitudinal direction, the two most important results are the force along the z-axis and the force along the y-axis, the moment along the y-axis. So we got 3,000 Newton meters and 17,000 Newton. Corresponding, we had a mass, just to put it into a result, we had a mass of 500 kilograms, which is around 5,000 Newton. So it's quite a lot of lift, but we're also quite deep inside the water. So in this case, the ship would move up higher. But that's the next step. So the next step, what we want to know is we want to do a static equilibrium calculation, but that's for the next episode.